Hello, beautiful Earth Angels. Welcome to Team Joanna. My name is Joanna. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope you stay. I hope you like what you hear. And if you do, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel and press the notification button. It's in there somewhere. It will let you know when I upload new content. If you also like the content, maybe share it with somebody who may find this information useful. So if you are new, thank you so much for visiting. I do hope you stay, and I hope you enjoy what you hear. For those of you who are returning, I will say it every single time until I stop doing this, which is probably not until I drop dead. So if you are returning, thank you so much. My love goes out to you, helping me express my works, my life's work here with your help is immensely helpful. So thank you for being part of this channel and for helping me grow in order to spread the message, essentially. And the message is quite simple: to help you remember who you are. That is the message, or that is my intent. The message is simply, you are love. And my job in that is to help you remember. It's to help you remember that. So thank you for coming back and for continuing to come back. Your help is extremely important in this whole process of ascension, because the more of yous that turn into this channel, the more of yous this message that is being channeled can reach you, and the more of you that are reached with the message, that simply is to understand and to accept that you are a divine being, and therefore you are absolutely immensely powerful. And today's message is about acceptance. As I was getting ready this morning, as I always do, I have things flowing in my mind, and I'm getting ready to channel. So I kind of see what wants to be projected out into the world. And the idea of acceptance came up. And the way I want to talk about acceptance is, let me just see if I can rephrase it. I want to express the importance of how acceptance plays a part in us experiencing our own power. In other words, if we are not in acceptance of the fact that we are inherently powerful beings, then it is going to be very difficult for us to experience feeling that awareness. In other words, you cannot experience something you don't believe in. Why? Because you will not allow yourself to be it. So as I came down to do this channel, and I have my own office, obviously, and I'm shuffling cards and I'm saying, okay, what is it that you want me to talk about? And this is what came up: acceptance. Now, I've been doing this type of work for, well, many, many, many years. I've been on YouTube probably for about 4 or 5. And things like this, synchronicities, happen a lot. But I gotta tell you, every time they happen, it never fails. I am like a kid in a candy store. I get so excited, because what this is telling me is that what I was receiving earlier in the morning when I was getting ready is being confirmed, that how important it is for us to talk about acceptance today. So you may see these signs in your life where you think of something and then it pops up right in front of you. When that happens, that is time for celebration, because it essentially means energies are converging in such a way that kind of help you remember, or help you be aware that you are on track and exactly where you need to be. So let's talk about acceptance. By the way, thank you for reminding me. If you are already subscribed to my newsletter, if you are, you'll notice I don't send very many things. Because we get our inboxes bombarded with lots of things, and I don't want to be one of those emails. But if you are not, so if you are subscribed, stay tuned, because I will be announcing something very, very shortly over the next 2 weeks or so. Something that I have been working on probably for about 2 years. And I have mentioned that in the past, and it's just taken me a really, really long time to accept this next phase of my life and my work. And it is to do with creating a platform where I can offer my services and my knowledge to greater audience. In other words, I have reached a limit of being able to help one-on-one, and in order for me to have, let's call it a greater impact, I will be moving to a platform that will allow for that to happen. So you can kind of sort of read between the lines, but anyway, what it means is that you will have access to me, and I will be able to be with you on more personal on a basis, meaning, what's the word I want to say? Live content, where we can communicate live and we can have a bit of back and forth. And I want more of that engagement. And I want to do it outside of YouTube for various reasons. Part of it is the whole idea of, well, let's not go there. Let's just say that I am creating a platform that will be very soon available to all of you. So if you are not subscribed to my newsletter, you might want to do that, because with that announcement comes something special. So that's a bit of a carrot dangling there for you. If you are interested in my material and what I do and how I work, and if you are interested in expanding on your knowledge and your awareness, then go to my channel, JoannaTheHealer.com, and sign up for my newsletter. Okay, that aside, let's talk about today's subject, which is acceptance. And here's why acceptance is so important. If we are trying to create a better future, if we are trying to create abundance on any levels, whether it be love, money, health, friendships, whatever, abundance in whatever form, if we are trying to improve something in our existence that you deem needs improving, unless you accept the fact that what you are trying to create is absolutely a possibility, unless you firmly believe in that being the case, then anything that we are trying to create is not going to flow as easily. And here's why. Let me give you an example. Some of you have heard me say this before, that I connect with other beings, and I have mentioned that recently. It's a fairly new phenomenon to me. Normally I would connect with spirit, although I'm sure I've had connections other than just spirit. But the point is, I do connect with other beings, okay? Various beings. And I've talked about Arcturians before, and I've talked about Pleiadians, and I have this strong connection with Arcturians. And on several occasions now, it has become very clear to me that my origin is one of a Pleiadian. And even me talking about it openly is a bit of a surprise to me, because I, in the past, would not allow myself to do that, because I wouldn't want to be seen as somewhat strange. But here's why I'm saying this to you and why it's so important. Last week, when I was away on a course of exploring consciousness, I had a session with a gentleman called Quantum Healing Session, which is what Dolores Cannon has developed. And I've had many hypnotherapy sessions. Obviously, I'm a hypnotherapist myself. So this was a specific one that goes into the various places. But during that session, I was advised that I am a Pleiadian. And it was really interesting, because I didn't think that was the case. I thought for sure there must be something about Arcturians. But no, it turns out that I'm a Pleiadian. And I thought, well, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, last year or earlier this year, I was doing some channeled writing, and at the very end, I heard Pleiadians, and I thought, okay, well, I'm channeling Pleiadians. So here's what I'm trying to say. When I had that session, I thought, okay, I acknowledge the fact that I'm a Pleiadian. I accept it. And here's what happened yesterday. So it's a week later. I'm sitting before a session, and I'm doing my regular meditation. All of a sudden, I become aware of this presence of all these beings around me. And I clearly feel and hear the essence of Pleiadians. And I had this massive realization, oh my God, me accepting that I am one, all of a sudden opened this door for all this guidance to come in and help me. And it's not that they were not there before, but because I have accepted the fact that I am whatever, that acceptance of me acted as a door opener for more of these beings to come closer to me so that I could perceive them. I'm going to give you another example. If you are wanting to have success in your life, whatever success means to you, if you are wanting to have success, unless you accept the fact that you are powerful and capable of creating success, unless you accept the fact that you are capable and powerful to create your success, you will be trying to create something you don't believe in. And that means you will be in opposition to the very thing you are wanting to attract or bring into your life. Now, I think we all know this, but it hit me this morning on such a different level. And I'm sure many of you will resonate with that, where sometimes you know information, but then you have this awareness and it just hits you deeper. It's this almost like awareness and wisdom. It's a really interesting how it feels. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that acceptance virtually opens doors for many, many possibilities. And when we don't accept, we fight the very thing that we are trying to create. So, if you want to improve yourself, if you want to, let's say, be a healer, if you want to express yourself with healing abilities, you must first accept the fact that you have those abilities already. Not that you have to get them, you have them already, which means you are not working on trying to get those skills or those abilities. You come equipped with it as a divine being. Now that you accept it, it'll be easier for you to bring out those abilities. Now, this could be anything. This could be, let's say you're trying to find a loving relationship. I mean, we all want one, right? Most of us. And if you don't want one, it's not that you don't want one, it's that you've been hurt by one before, so now you tell yourself you don't want one. But we are meant to be in relationships. We are beings that thrive on connections. That's just the way, it's part of being a human. We're not lonely cats, or yeah. So if you are trying to find a loving relationship, you must first believe that loving relationships are possible. You must first accept it. If you don't accept it as a possibility, if you don't accept it as a possibility, you will be working against yourself trying to attract one. Okay? Worse yet, you will attract one, but the non-belief in it, often very subconscious, will make you sabotage the relationship. And you can substitute the word relationship for everything else. So I hope you can see the importance of acceptance. Also, the acceptance that you are a divine being. If you don't believe it, then that's your loss. And here's why. In order to experience the abundance and the plethora of amazing experience that comes with being a divine being, you first have to own it. You have to own the fact that you are a divine being. Otherwise, you are working in opposition to what the being divine means, including those wonderful experiences. And I would invite you to consider looking at your beliefs and really looking at your truth, your deep truth. What is your deep truth? And ask yourself, what are some of the things that I am trying to achieve that I have not yet accepted as true or as something that can actually happen? And in order to be aware of that, oftentimes you have to reach deeper than a superficial layer of your awareness, which means you have to kind of go deep or dig deep, which brings me to this first card, and that's about deep polarity. When we are in non-acceptance of the fact that we are divine beings, we live in polarity. Okay? It's not a great thing, because polarity is very divisive. It's the opposite of unification. Okay? Unification also is connected to feeling whole. So when we live in polarity, or when we are in polarity within ourselves, we're not only constantly trying to find something that seemed to be missing, but also we can't seem to find it. And the reason for that is that it's never out there. It's always inside. So do yourself a favor today. Practice accepting that you are a divine being. What does it mean to be a divine being? Well, for one, I'll tell you what it means to me. You're immensely powerful. You're immensely powerful. And that means you have the power to achieve and accomplish things you deem are beyond your abilities. And we all know, I've talked about this before, that we all hold ourselves back. That's just the nature of being a human being. And when we hold ourselves back, we cannot experience all that life has to offer. And I would say, if you are listening to this type of channel, then you are looking for something more, something deeper, or some bigger meaning to your life or to you. And they're saying to me that when you accept that you are a divine being, when you accept that you are powerful, you may not necessarily believe it at the moment or feel it, but if you accept the fact that you are a divine being, it will act as a door opener to brand new energy to come into your life and create new experiences. So don't deny yourself your identity as a divine being. That will not be a good choice right now. I just heard, what if everybody feels powerful? Wouldn't that be interesting? What if everybody felt powerful? If we all felt powerful, we wouldn't have to be putting ourselves in a situation in order to assert our power. We wouldn't have the need as much to prove our power, because our inner power would, and it's not the ego power I'm talking about the power that comes with knowing that you are a divine being, which means you can recognize what's behind or beyond the illusion. You can see that which isn't real. You can perceive so much more and so much bigger, which puts you in a position to see life from a completely different angle. And essentially, life begins to change when we start seeing things differently. Or life pushes us to a point where we then have to see things from a different perspective, because if we don't, then we begin to struggle. So again, it's the acceptance of what is. We seem to be battling with a lot of survival fears right now. And that's our past karma. That's the word that wants to be used. We have been in a dark hole for far too long, and it's time to see the light of day. Obviously, that's a metaphor. When you are in the hole, where we are in the dark hole, what we see is darkness. What we perceive is darkness. What we experience is darkness. When we see the light, when we see the brightness, we perceive brightness. We perceive clarity. And it's often a decision in terms of where we look. Do we look towards the darkness, or do we look towards the light? And everyone has the choice or the ability to make that choice for themselves. So the question to you today is, where do you want to look? Do you want to keep looking in the darkness, or do you want to look towards the light? I was just being asked to describe what I mean by light. To look towards the light is to open yourself up to higher awareness, which in turn becomes enlightenment. When you look towards the dark, when you focus towards the dark, and when I say dark, I don't mean evil, although it could be the case. When I say dark, I mean fear. Okay? When we focus on the fear, well, that's what we experience. Whatever you focus on is your reality. Remember that. Whatever you focus on is reality. If you're looking right, you're not experiencing left because you're looking right. Okay? It's literally that simple in theory. So aside of acceptance today, ask yourself, what is it that I normally focus on? Where do I focus my attention? And does this focus bring me ultimately what I want? Or does it bring me more of the same, or more of what I don't want? And you have to be able to accept the fact that you are your own life's creator, which means you create your life. If you do not accept that, then life happens to you. And that's not nearly as comfortable as you creating your life. Now, of course, there are some things that absolutely feel like that are not part of our own creation. Certain things are happening beyond our control, yes. And I could talk about that in a different context, but I want to go more where you do have control. Your life is your life. And thank God, majority of humanity does not live in enslavement. Some do, unfortunately, still. But majority don't. So hopefully no one ever will. And when I say enslavement, I don't just mean the actual meaning of a slave. I mean being in a position when one has no control and someone else has control over a person. Okay? Which means very little choices. That kind of being a slave basically renders life controlling you, you not being in charge of your own life. So there's also a lot of fear involved with that. So it's almost like we're moving away from being enslaved. But I don't mean enslaved by other people. Yes, that too. What I'm referring to more is the fear enslavement. We are slaves to our fears. And weirdly enough, the reason why we do it, because it's strangely comfortable. Why would it be comfortable? Well, because it's what we know. It's what we understand. It's what we've experienced. And we somehow have to move past that. Well, we don't have to, but we are moving past that. So it looks like two messages. Acceptance, the importance of acceptance and how that plays a key role in what kind of life you experience for yourself. If you believe that you are an unworthy being, you will create based on that consciousness. On the other hand, if you do not want to have that life based in that consciousness, accept the fact that you are not only worthy. There's no words to, worthy doesn't even, what's the word I want to use? Worthy doesn't describe who you are, because of course you're worthy. You're even more than that. You are a divine being, remember. You're a part of God, whatever God means to you. So in order for you to experience life in a different manner, accept the fact that you are worthy. Accept your worthiness. Accept your own value, which means accept you. Accept you. Accept you. Whenever I say accept you, I always follow up with, it does not mean that you cannot make improvements or changes. It doesn't mean that. In fact, acceptance often improves your chances of creating change because you're not working against yourself. So I don't want you to think that when I say accept yourself, and let's say you are wanting to quit some bad habit, that I'm saying accept your habit and just be happy with it. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is accept that you have a habit, and the habit is a symptom of something deeper that you have not resolved yet. And maybe that something deeper is the fact that you don't accept yourself. And in order for you to let go of that habit, perhaps the first thing you need to do is to look at what it is that you are not in acceptance of. What is it that you don't accept about yourself? So if you have a bad habit, accepting your habit is accepting the part of you that seeks out some kind of fulfillment from having the habit. In other words, it's there for a reason. Once you can accept that, once you can accept that that part of you is trying to manage something or deal with something on some subconscious level, accepting that will actually help you move away from the habit. Remember, acceptance acts as a door opener. I hope I'm making myself clear. I think I got the message through. Ultimately, this leads to this wonderful little word, empowerment. It really is all about how powerful we are, and about remembering that what we think we are is just that. It's a thought. Doesn't necessarily mean it's real. It's real because we believe it. Okay? If you're feeling not good enough, yeah, you're feeling not good enough. But does that mean that you're not good enough? Is the truth that you are not good enough? No. How could you possibly be not good enough? You're part of the universe itself. You're part of God consciousness. How could you not be in that? How could you? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. Okay. So if you feel not good enough, I want you to start considering accepting that not only are you good enough, You are so much more than what you currently see. Accept that as a fact. When you accept that as a fact, watch what starts to happen. Life begins to show you. Life begins to show you the truth. It begins to show you examples of that which you just accepted, that you are a worthy person, and of course you are good enough. Okay? Always remember that what's happening on the outside is the reality that's happening on the inside. So if your outer reality, if you're not happy with your outer reality, or if you want a different reality, look how it matches with your inner reality. Because if your inner reality, or what you believe as true, is not in accordance with what you want your reality to be, or your experience, then it's going to be very hard for you to attract it. Okay? You have to be on the same page. And acceptance often does that. Okay, I think that's all I have today. Let me know if you like this. I have an Instagram page where I do daily pulse messages. It's Joanna the Healer if you're interested. Let me know in comments how this feels with you, how this resonates with you. We've got some pretty interesting energies going on. I feel very much like I'm shifting very fast. It's just happened yesterday. It's just like something is clicking in. So you might start feeling shifts where you begin to go, I feel different, but you're not quite sure how. So looks like we're in for some fun times from where I can tell. Anyway, I hope you like this. Stay tuned for my announcement coming up. Of course, if you want to be part of the private Facebook page, Joanna the Healer, there's a link there. It's private. We have almost 6,000 members. So you can go in there and check it out. Aside from that, I wish you best of luck and talk to you soon. Take care.